On the one hand, we have the Israelis saying that they targeted an Iranian site in southern Syria, saying that this site was used to launch drones against Israel in what they went as far as calling a serious Iranian attack against Israeli territory. They also said that only one plane was hit and that both pilots were able to land safely in their home country. Now, on the other hand, Syrian military officials were immediately very vocal about it as well. They called this an Israeli aggression. They said that the target was not an Iranian site, but a Syrian army base, and that in response, the Syrian forces had shot down more than one Israeli fighter jet. So here we have two very different versions of the event, which in turn serve domestic politics. On the Syrian side, what I can tell you is that Israel and Syria are officially at war. They have no diplomatic relations. And from the Syrian perspective, Israel is the enemy. So while Syria is struggling with a civil war, an internal conflict, well, pointing at an outside enemy is somehow a way of unifying people against one common enemy.
And for its part, Israel carried out these strikes. It's done that in Syria for years. But this is the first time it mentioned it was going after Iranian targets, and the first time it had a fighter jet that was downed. Is this a game changer?
Absolutely. Well, like we said, Israel claims that it targeted an Iranian military site. Now, we can't verify this now, but what we can say is that Iran has a military presence in Syria. It backs up Bashar al-Assad's regime since the beginning of the war in 2011. And that has been a constant source of concern for Israel. Since the beginning of the Syrian conflict, Israel has been monitoring every move that could represent a threat to its national security. And it has carried out dozens of strikes against military targets in Syria, mostly Iran or Hezbollah related. In complete violation of Syrian and Lebanese airspace. Now, this is the first time that Israel loses a fighter jet, and the first time that it is so vocal about it and gives details as to what the target was. But we have to see this. This also comes at a time when tensions are rising not only on the Israeli-Syrian border, but also on the Israel-Lebanon border, with Israel starting to build a wall to the north, and some territorial disputes over oil and gas fields. So it is time to sort of be cautious on both of those borders.
All right. Thank you, Chloe. Chloe Doma reporting from Beirut.